What is global warming? The sun rays pass through the layer of atmosphere around the earth and reach the earth in the form of light waves. Most of this radiation is absorbed by the earth and warms it, while some of it is reflected back into the space in the form of infrared rays. The layer of atmosphere traps some of this outgoing infrared radiation, and it is a good thing because it keeps the Earth's temperature within boundaries. But this layer of atmosphere is thin enough that we can change its composition. Due to the pollution, the layer is thickened, which leads to the trapping of too much infrared rays, leading to global warming. The sun rays pass through the layer of atmosphere around the earth and reach the earth in the form of light waves. Most of this radiation is absorbed by the earth and warms it, while some of it is reflected back into the space in the form of infrared rays. Due to too much greenhouse gases, too much infrared rays are absorbed, which leads to the heating up of the earth. The effects are melting of glaciers and deprivation of animals of their habitats. The main cause of global warming is the presence of greenhouse gases emitted by human beings. It has been identified by scientists that global warming is caused by different types of greenhouse gases, which are emitted by human beings in a variety of ways, most of which come from the combustion of fossil fuels in cars, factories, and etc. The gas which is greatly responsible for the warming is carbon dioxide. Other gases include methane released from dumps in agriculture, usually from the digestive systems of grazing animals, nitrous oxide from fertilizers, gases used for refrigeration and industrial processes, and the loss of forests that could otherwise store carbon dioxide. Deforestation is one of the things that is an obstacle in increasing the extreme global warming. It is something that can be easily stopped, but people continue to cut down trees and forests. Our world can look like this, but it can't because of the actions which can be stopped, but we decide not to stop them. Due to global warming, the average temperature of the Earth is rising. The heat is not only causing glaciers and sea ice to melt, but it is also shifting precipitation patterns and depriving animals of their habitat. Some impacts from increasing temperatures are already happening. Ice is melting worldwide, especially at the Earth's poles. It includes mountain glaciers, ice sheets covering West Antarctica and Greenland, and Arctic sea ice. Researcher Bill Fraser has noticed the decline of Adelie penguins in Antarctica. Their numbers have fallen from 32,000 breeding pairs to 11,000 in 30 years. The rise in sea level became faster over the century. Some living things, like butterflies, foxes, and alpine plants, have moved farther north or to higher, cooler areas. Precipitation, rain, and snowfall has increased across the world on average. The numbers of spruce bark beetles have increased in Alaska due to 20 years of warm summers. These insects have eaten up 4 million acres of spruce trees. Predictions of other effects that could later happen in this century if warming continues. Sea levels may rise between 7 and 23 inches, that is 18 and 59 centimeters, by the end of the century, and continuous melting at the poles could add between 4 and 8 inches, that is 10 to 20 centimeters. Hurricanes and other storms are likely to become stronger. Floods and droughts will become more common. Rainfall in Ethiopia, where droughts are already common, could decline by 10% over the next 50 years. less fresh water will be available. If the Quilcaya ice cap in Peru continues to melt at its current rate, it will be gone by 2100. This will leave the people who depend on the ice cap with no fresh water and electricity. Wildlife researcher scientist Martin Aubert has found that since the mid 1980s, with less ice to live on, polar bears have gotten skinnier. Polar bear biologist Ian Sterling has found a similar pattern in Hudson Bay. He fears that if sea ice disappears, the polar bears will as well.